Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. You know who's not doing great? Those of us that have diesel trucks. It looks like the fuel crisis is getting worse. And the reason why I say that is because a large company has just come out with a pretty dire warning. I want to go over that. But I really want to emphasize just how simple it is to be prepared. Of course, if this got really big, and honestly, let me preface this. We've seen crises like this come up where they're like, warning us about stuff, and then they don't exactly materialize the way we think, right? A lot of shortages happen, and they're happening right now, and that causes, because demand doesn't wane, demand stays the same, and it causes prices to increase, okay? A lot of people think of when they think of shortages, things just disappear, all right? And very rarely that does, because what happens is price spikes up on any given item that is under a certain shortage or a supply chain crunch, something like that, and then people stop buying it, right? Well, this is fuel. This is very serious. This is what runs our country, gets us all the goods and services that we need or desire. And it definitely is the greatest, in my opinion, next to housing wealth, the greatest wealth effect there is. I mean, it's literally the only thing you'll see people drive across town to save a couple of pennies, literally per gallon. It really, really, really is interesting to me, the price of fuel and the psychological effect it has on the consumer. So guys, we're gonna dive in right now. I'm gonna link this story below. It is very important, I think. It's entitled "Fuel Company Issues Diesel Shortage Warning." It says conditions rapidly devolving, devolving, yeah. I think they meant dissolving, but rapidly devolving? Well, let's see if that's the right word. This just came out last night, got this to you right away. If you guys like news like this, up-to-date things like that, please let me know in the comments section and or by hitting the subscribe button. It says right here, a major fuel supply and logistics company is raising a red flag on upcoming diesel fuel shortages. Mansfield Energy issued an alert Friday stating there was a developing diesel fuel shortage in the southeastern region of the United States. The company speculated that the shortage could be generated from poor pipeline shipping economies and a historically low supply of diesel reserves. Now, guys, you know that I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, I did a video with this as a topic, and I said, it'd be really interesting if we started seeing a refinery or two pop off, like all of a sudden there's an explosion or a fire. And I started to think that something was going to happen, and went and checked the internet, and lo and behold, this week we've had 4 refineries around the world either catch fire or an explosion that have knocked them offline, okay? So even though those aren't happening in America, those could affect America on the eventually, because it's the world supply chain. It's like, when the world needs rice or grain, they're gonna go pay the highest bidder, and it's gonna cost higher prices, okay? It says poor pipeline shipping economies and historically low diesel inventories are combining to cause shortages in various markets throughout the Southeast, the company said. These have been occurring sporadically, with areas like Tennessee seeing particularly acute challenges. Can you guys let me know if you're down in Tennessee? Please jump in the comment section. Let me know what you're seeing as far as shortages or prices, things like that are going on. It says here, states that are expected to experience serious effects of the shortage include Maryland, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So really that entire area of the Southeast to be affected. It's very, very interesting that it's that one part of the country. We've seen issues with supply chain shortages when it comes to gasoline and diesel before over there on this channel, where the East Coast was having all kinds of issues, and I put out this warning, and it was really cool because so many people said, literally, I was on the road, I heard your video, I saw my tank was empty, I pulled over, filled up, and by the next day, there were gas stations all over my town that were empty. So again, being ready for this, filling up, planning your trips a little bit more properly, things like that. You may need to see this in the next couple of weeks. This may actually turn into something serious. Now, it says the Energy Information Administration reported this week that as of October 14th, the U.S. had only 25 days of reserve diesel supply, a low not seen since 2008. Again, very interesting numbers, right? Right before the crash, in the summer of 2008 was the last time we saw these numbers, okay? And we're talking about, banks collapsing, things like that. They want to throw you off. I honestly don't, I think these are planned events, quite frankly, but hey, that's just a conspiracy theorist in my mind, right? October, let me know if you guys think the same thing, to be honest with you. So that was as of October 14th. So we've already knocked out half of that 25 days, okay? So we're literally talking, if this is gonna be correct and we're gonna see some massive shortages, we're talking about in the next week or two, all right, that we should be seeing this. Now, quote, because conditions are rapidly devolving and market economies are changing significantly each day, Mansfield is moving to alert level 4 to address market volatility, Mansfield press statement said. The company continued, Mansfield is also moving the Southeast to code red, requesting 72-hour notice for deliveries when possible to ensure fuel and freight can be secured at economical levels. So they want a good 72 hours in advance notice to make sure that they can either, if they don't have it right, with a truck ready to, willing to deliver, that they can call one in from another region, okay? We also saw that exact scenario play out in the East Coast last year with the fuel supply crunch. Now it says here, the Northeast Home Heating Oil Reserve holds roughly 1 million barrels of home heating oil. House Democrats from New England are asking President Biden to release some of those reserves to help reduce home heating prices in the region, leading to winter months. I have to be honest, I think at this point, these constant dropping of reserves, rather than pumping the heck out of our own country right now, stop buying from others, is the more important thing. And the more reserves we draw down, the more vulnerable we are if something really catastrophic happened. Think about that. It takes time to build up our strategic reserves. And right now is not the time to be dumping them. It's to be time to be pumping out of our own ground to lower these prices, stop this shortage, and make sure that these refineries stay online. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the last year when it comes to food processing plants burning to the ground in America. I think it's only a matter of time before we start seeing those popping off in the energy sector with the refineries and things like that. Guys, I believe the last refinery in America was built in 1970 or the early 70s. I believe so. It would cost billions and billions of dollars to make a new one. But not only that, it would take years and years and years to do it. So our infrastructure, our energy infrastructure right now is very, very fragile. And on the eve of when everybody's supposed to be going green and electric, wouldn't it be interesting to put people under that crunch to remind them of why you want to go electric? Guys, this is scary times. And so how do you combat it? Well, you be prepared. You make sure your tank is full, right? This may be the time, if you have a commuter car, to start relying on that a little bit more. Like I said, planning your trips, things like that, but really getting ahead of the curve when it comes to debt and that kind of stuff. Because if we go into a shortage, there will be diesel, but prices will spike and you'll be paying more at the pump, much, much more. I'm gonna be honest with you, with a real shortage, I could easily see diesel national average at $10 a gallon. Can you imagine what that would do to inflation? I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm gonna link the story below. That being said, the Economic Ninja is out.